At night, in the light of the moon and stars, in the tabernacle of the Muses, Pythagoras taught his students that mathematics and music are the same science, and that harmony depends on specific mathematical relations. He saw these relations in the distances and revolutions of the heavenly bodies. For Pythagoras, the basic principles of the cosmos are numbers. The cosmos exists because harmony dominates, and for that reason, that harmony is number.
In philosophy and in science, there is no deviation in the functioning of a law, because the nature of law is divine, that is, perfect. There is, however, the possibility of a change in the conditions of an action that, instead of following the pattern of law, deviates because an unforeseen event took place.
If again we see some athletes running on a track, and some of them deviate from the course described by the lines on the track, and run into the line of a fellow athlete, then we have a clash of events, which brings about a momentary confusion, without, however, influencing the lanes on the track. For these suggest the lawful framework of the universe, and always remain constant. If, in a galactic system, the stars collide, owing to an unforeseen cause, they may disintegrate. They may dissolve into molecules and recombine without, however, transforming or influencing laws and the result of the harmony of the surrounding cosmic space.
The nature of laws is equally confirmed in the universe and in man. That which in the cosmic domain is called harmony, on a human level is called ethics.
Ethics is the tendency of the human will to identify action with the ideal which constitutes harmony. The father of human ethics, Socrates, developed it within the context of social laws, to a degree perhaps beyond any other mortal in the world.
Let us extend the meaning of Socrates' decision to serve the law of the universe. We then reach the conclusion that the great teacher recognized the final human destination, which promises the victory of the soul by its ascent to celestial spheres. For this reason, he did not deviate from the straight lines of the track of life.
The problem of the nature of laws that define every form of life and evolution on Earth and the world was for me a daily perplexity. Stephen Hawking describes in his book and his lectures that time and the universe began with a great explosion, which continues to this day, and perhaps will continue for all time.
In this case, the attractive power of gravity means that the universe, and time itself, had a beginning in the Big Bang, which occurred about 15 billion years ago. The universe may also collapse again to a big crunch, if the amount of matter in the universe is sufficient to stop the present expansion and reverse it.
Aristotle placed the existence of the world in an automatic mechanism of divine origin, and believes that the distribution of matter in the universe is sufficient for it to be eternal. The great philosopher believed that the existence of the universe manifests a divinity that contemplates itself eternally.
I believe that for an interpretation of the nature of the universe to be given, there must be prior knowledge of the nature of law, and that shall be the vehicle by which a universe proceeds towards its evolution. As I mentioned earlier, everything in the world of material substance is subject to lawful specification of its function.
In the quest for a profound interpretation of the lawful function of nature, we arrive at the following questions. Is this exquisite flower that I hold in my hand a result of the existence of certain laws which act inwardly upon it so as to give it form, design, size, weight? Or perhaps the laws initiate their function from the core of the flower and manifest themselves in an outward flow? Although the two versions have the same result, that is, I am holding the same flower in my hands, I am entitled to think that law acts in both directions, inwardly and outwardly, in every form of matter. For example, let us suppose that this lake represents the universe as a whole, in other words, a framework within which laws act. If we were to toss a pebble into the lake of the infinite, we would see the results of the laws unfold before us. The laws as they are, comprehended and measured by our senses. In the initial phase of that action, we comprehend a universe that is self-directed from the center outwards towards an infinite horizon. Instructing the editor of this film to reverse the shot, we see the flow of the previous event in reverse order. The waves flow towards the point where I tossed the pebble, and finally, the pebble turns back to my hand. With these two motions, we comprehend the antithetical flows. The first is that we perceive with our five senses and name comprehensive evolution. The second flow, the opposite of the first, we accomplished with another instruction, which I had given to the technician, so that the viewer may perceive the simultaneous action of the law through a series of activities which pertain to its interior function, with the result that we see a universe returning to its initial condition at the same time as it flows towards its outer manifestation. Matter manifests its presence through the law, which acts inside outwardly and reveals its animate nature. All matter is living, hence it is intelligent. It has a soul. Its soul manifests itself through its automatic motion. At the same time, the law that functions from the outside inwards acts so as to cause matter to recombine, a process which constitutes the universal becoming. Thus, in regard to the totality of all things, matter is living, intelligent, and animate.
Whenever science attempts to interpret becoming in a universe it considers inanimate, it will comprehend only the material constitution of all things and never their essence. On the other hand, whenever science assumes an intelligent universe, animate and eternal, then it will arrive at the esoteric interpretation of the laws, which will define both the material constitution and the essence of all things.
When for the first time in 1981, the idea of mirror image symmetry in the functioning of laws occurred to me, I committed myself to hard work, writing my first book, entitled The Great Testament. The ideas I had at that time concerning the nature of laws and the constitution of the universe have not changed at all. I summarized all my ideas in the following personal theorem of mine. All values of mass and energy in the universe, including all the manifestations of the laws which govern them, have their counterpart in a potential unification, which is called eternity. In few words, I believe that for the universe to be eternal, perfect, complete, and finite, which presupposes a beginning and an end, it must function as an absolute system of expression of laws with opposing equivalent tendencies that secure its eternal nature. If this is not the case, then I believe that the universe is but a common mortal who lives without hope in a chaos of numbers, without destination, without the existence of a true God, since it is destined at some point to collapse and vanish, along with the mortal God who created it.